with my guy, Darius Coit. What's good?
What's good with you, man? How you?
I'm chilling. How you? What you had going on today?
Man, trying to stay young, you know what I mean? I'm old as shit, so I was in here working out, watching some good work, watching Paul and Boot spar and all that. But good work today. I had fun getting back in there, too. Yeah. What's good, though?
Yeah, when was the last time you've been in, like, worked out in the gym, not actually trained for it?
I hit the bag, like, lately, for the last month, like 2-3 times a week. 2-3 times a week. Detroit, I was up to 265. I'm trying to get this weight back off me, man. Yeah. I don't look it, but I'm 265. Yeah.
Last Saturday, I know me and you talked about this the other day. Last Saturday, Errol Spence, Yordenis Ugas.
You're right.
What did you think?
I felt like Ugas' strategy, I blame his coach for that, you know what I mean? And I mean, if that's the best he thought he can do, I understand. But his strategy was to stand in there and hope that Spence gets tired, right? But Spence don't get tired. So if your whole game plan is like predicated on hoping your opponent is not at his best, I feel like that's a flaw, because what if he come in ready, you know? And Spence showed, I think Spence showed throughout his career that he can punch all night. So to stand in front of him and just give him a stationary target, you know, he's a thumper. He's gonna punch right through you. So standing right in front of Spence was just a mistake. You know what I mean? His face broke down in the middle of the fight. I think he was landing some solid shots, but you can tell there was no setup to none of them. He was just at random catching them with like loopy right hands, things like that. So just a bad, in my opinion, a bad strategy. And I like Ugas a lot, but it didn't look like he added any ripples to his game for that fight. He thought that just being, you know, sort of like a big imposing force would be enough. And, you know, just like we all tell our guys here in Philly, if a guy stand right in front of you, you punch right through him. You punch through his guard. If you're going to stand right there, touch him. You know what I mean? And Spence is the type that can touch you while you got your guard up and still hurt you. When you think of guys like Roy Jones versus, what's that kid, Eric, from, I think his name was Eric. Dude from Philly, Southpaw, dude, he punched his bicep off. You know what I'm talking about? He detached his bicep.
Yeah, I remember the guy's name.
Yeah, he was actually from Philly, too. I forgot his name, though. But, yeah, that type of guy. So if a guy's standing in front of you with his guard up, pound on him, and that's exactly what Spence did. So I think it was just a bad style matchup for Ugas. When you're dealing with guys that are sharpshooters like a Crawford, maybe Pacquiao, they're looking for openings, that style works. It's imposing, because if your hands are up, they don't see an opening, you might bring down their punch output, because they're the type that punch when there's openings. Spence punched no matter what. Actually, his strategy upped Spence punch output due to the fact that there was nothing coming back at Spence, and it was like a stationary target. If he would have been a little slicker, maybe a slicker fighter that can control distance better, would have made Spence punch less, because he would have had to find him to let his hands go, or hope that, you know, when he's moving his head, that nothing's coming back, like overhand rights and little sneaky counters and things like that. But there was no wiggle to Ugas, so that made it real easy for Spence to assess what was going on. He stayed in range the whole night because there was no footwork from Ugas, you know what I mean? And I think Spence did what he's supposed to do. I think it was just a good style matchup for Spence. I think they've been picking opponents, not like they're avoiding opponents. I think he'll fight anybody, but the last couple of guys that he was up against were perfect for his style. You know, not too quick on the toes. I think guys who can judge distance well, got good footwork, you know, can get in and out of range and have a little bit of slickness to them, they might give Spence some trouble. Especially guys like Crawford that can switch to southpaw, stuff like that. So I'm interested to see that matchup, because their styles cancel each other out, in my opinion.
As far as work rate goes, right?
Right.
Who would you compare his work rate to? Marvin Hagler?
Marvin Hagler, especially, yeah. If you want to look at a heavyweight, look at guys like A.K.O.Y.E, guys that don't need to. Some guys can just touch you all night. They can punch all night. They punch hard enough even when they're in a relaxed mode where they don't tire themselves out by touching you. Spence is one of those guys where he just let his hands go, and even when he's not putting a lot of weight behind it, his arm punches hurt enough so that when he's touching you, it's still effective. And then when he picks those shots, he sees those openings and he explodes on you, you get the full force. So even when he's touching you, he can hurt you. He's a thudding puncher no matter what. And I think that's a good comparison. Hagler was a lot like that. He didn't look fast, didn't look quick, didn't look that powerful, but you can see the effect on his opponents, every opponent, when he touched them. Like, I think 52 of his 62 fights was knockouts, you know what I mean? So when he touched you, he hurt you.